guys, today I'm gonna tell my little sister a story. Me too, I'm gonna tell Ate Kiana a story. Okay, are you ready for my story? Once upon a time, there was a little girl. Her name was Snow White. She lives in the forest with her parents.
Kusgana kay I'm listening.
Opo. And then she went out to go to her friend's house. Then after that, she saw the house was empty and there was no one there. So she went back home. And when she went home, she saw her parents weren't home. That's kind of creepy. And then she went to bed. The next day, she woke up. Her parents were eating breakfast. And she went in the kitchen to eat some breakfast. And when she was done eating, she wanted to say thank you to her parents, but when she looked around, her parents were not there. So she was wondering, do my parents have superpowers? Then after that, she went to her friend's house again. And no
Kusga
one
ba kay
was
naminaw ko, I
there.
like your story.
Okay. So when she went back home, she was playing with her toys and someone knocked on the door. Knock, knock, knock. That's kind of creepy. And Snow White went to answer the door. Who is it? No one responded. When she opened the door, no one was there. It was just a small tiny box. Oh. That was moving. So she took the box inside and opened it. Guess what was inside?
What?
It was a tiny creature. It was a tiny creature. And it looked like a fairy. So she said hi to the creature. And then Snow White asked, "What are you?" The tiny fairy said, "I'm a fairy. I live in the woods. Someone trapped me and brought me here. And I have nowhere to go." Oh no. And then Snow White asked, "What is your name?" And then the fairy said, "My name is Belle." That's a cute name. Snow White and Belle were friends. But then one day, Snow White went out to collect some berries, and then she saw a wolf. And then Snow White ran so fast. She ran home. The wolf followed her home. And then the wolf said, "Knock, knock. Can I come in, please?" The wolf said, "What?" And then Snow White said, "Who is it?" And then guess what the wolf said? "It's me, your father." And then Snow White said, "You don't sound like my father." And guess what the wolf did? He broke down the door. Belle and Snow White were trapped. Oh dear. But good thing Belle had powers. So she made the wolf go to sleep for an hour. And then she escaped with Belle. The wolf woke up after an hour. And then he noticed that Belle and Snow White were gone. So he was so angry that he broke everything in the house. And then he burned the house. And then he went looking for them. So when he started looking for them, he saw fairy dust. A fairy dust trail. So he followed it and it led him to Fairy City. A very small city in the woods. And then he took all of the tiny houses and every single fairy in Fairy City. He took them home with them. He took all the fairies home with him. And then he was boiling water to cook all the fairies. To eat them? Yes, he's gonna eat all the fairies. So all the fairies were trying to escape, but they couldn't because they were locked in cages. Tiny bird cages. And then after that, Snow White heard Belle crying. Snow White said, "Belle, why are you crying?" Belle said, all of my friends in Fairy City were kidnapped by the wolf," Belle said. Snow White said, "Don't worry, I will save all of your friends from the bad wolf." So she went off to search for the wolf. And she found guess what she found? She found a tiny wolf. She asked the baby wolf, "Have you seen a big bad wolf carrying 2 boxes?" The little wolf said, "Yes. He ran over there to the left." So she went to the left. No plate, no trouble. So Belle was very happy because the little wolf told them where the bad wolf lived. So they followed the wolf. The little wolf said, "Oh, it looks like he's not home." But the little wolf was lying. So they did not believe the tiny wolf. So they went inside and they saw the wolf boiling some very hot water. And then he put some carrots in, some garlic, onions, green onions, and pork. So the first fairy he took out was Belle's cousin. He cut her wings off and then put her aside. She said, "How dare you cut my wings off? I can't escape anymore," the fairy said. The big bad wolf said, "Ha ha ha, that's what you get. You guys keep escaping from me, and I've been hungry for years, so now I can eat you all," the wolf said. So the fairy decided to trick the wolf, saying, "Hey wolf, if you want to cook me, you have to do something first." And then the wolf said, "Like what?" "We're going to have to make a deal," said the fairy. So the fairy said, "If you want to cook me, go to Fairy City and find 10 big pieces of gold," even though they never had pieces of gold. So the wolf said, "Oh, gold? It's a deal." So he went out to Fairy City, and then she took the big key. It was so heavy for her. And when Belle saw it, she helped her cousin. Her cousin's name was Rose. So Belle helped Rose free the family of fairies. They went back to Fairy City. The end. So, you said you were going to tell a story?
Yeah.
You don't want to because you're sleepy?
No, I want.
Look how sleepy she looks. She looks
Once upon a time.
Okay, just say bye. Bye-bye.
I want to tell you stuff.
It's already been 11 minutes.
Okay, so bye.
Bye. Next time my little sister will tell you guys a story. Bye.
Bye too.